I'm Snow, and this is Gas and Go. All right. Welcome to another episode of Gas and Go with Snow. I am here with my man Chuck. Chuck, man, it is good to see you. Dude, when you pulled up in this, I got so excited. I love cars. Tell me what this is.
This was actually built as a hot rod in 1947 in El Centro, California.
All right.
It ran through about the mid 50s and then became derelict, and it ended up in a family's backyard.
Okay.
And in 2019, my good friend Gordon Menzie, he found the Hulk.
Yeah.
And he bought the Hulk and brought it back to San Diego.
Right.
And then during COVID, he recommissioned it.
Wow.
So it's got the
during
original.
COVID, so this is not that old of like a reconstruction then.
Well, it was originally built in 1947,
right?
But he recommissioned it and rebuilt the entire driveline, and he reupholstered the seat and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's got an interesting dash panel in it.
Well, let's check out the dash panel.
It's got a 1936 Packard dash panel, and
so this styling looks very similar to what came out of that 36 Cord.
Yeah.
I mean, the styling is almost exactly the same, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So I had all of those instruments rebuilt.
Okay.
It actually took me, almost 3 years.
Okay.
To get Gordon to sell it to me, because this was his favorite car.
Yeah. Oh, I can see why. So tell me about this shifter. That's unique.
It's a 1939 Ford gearbox.
Okay.
That's a photograph of my wife in there.
Okay.
Her Kathy.
Yeah.
And that came in the car.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I've done to it is I put tires on it, and I put that steering wheel in it because it had a stock 40 steering wheel.
It looks like a new piece, like new old stock there.
It's a reproduction of a 1940 Ford steering wheel.
Yeah.
And it's but it's a smaller diameter because it's so cramped in there. I couldn't get my hand around next to my knee.
I got you. Okay. Well, tell me about the crown jewel of every vehicle is what's under the hood.
Yeah, it's a 1941 Ford V8.
So this is actually a 41 Ford V8.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. And now, have you had to crack it multiple times?
It's all brand new. I've never gotten into it. Gordon rebuilt it. Okay. My friend Gordon Menzie.
Yeah.
And he rebuilt it with Offenhauser high compression heads.
Okay.
Offenhauser dual intake manifold with twin 97 carburetors. He built the Lakes pipes for it, and it's got a Harman Collins cam in it. It's got two Strawberry 97 carburetors on it. We had the generator rewired to 12 volt. And when I originally bought it, this little hub here, the stock Ford, you had to fill it with grease.
Yeah.
And the seals were shot, and it was leaking the grease all over the ignition system. Yeah. So I found Bob Drake makes a reproduction with sealed bearings, and so I put that in there to stop it from leaking all over the ignition.
So now I have another question also. Sure. So it looks like there's no tensioner on the belt, right? So how did you get the belt tight?
Well, these two bolts right here, these two bolts, this thing slides up and down. Which
so the whole mechanism puts tension on this guy and this one at the same time?
That's right.
So then that means your water pump is not like what I'm used to seeing. It's not driven off of
It's got two water pumps, one for each bank of cylinders. These are the water pumps right here.
So here and there.
Yeah.
So two water pumps. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And with the, it's got an aluminum radiator in it that came from Speedway.
Yeah.
And it runs like a refrigerator. I mean,
driving
up here today, I mean, it's 80 plus going down the road, and it's running at about 130 degrees.
Okay. Now, I got one more question for you, and then we'll wrap this up.
Okay.
But this classic and iconic grille,
1932 Ford.
I know.
And that's an original.
And what is something wrong with it? There's a hole in it.
It's that's where the you used to be able to insert a crank, so you could crank the engine.
Now, I don't know how many of you guys knew that, but my grandfather, right? My grandfather was born in 1913, right? And he had a scar on his chin. And I was like, hey, Grandpa, how'd you get that scar on your chin? He's like, oh, a lot of people my age will have that same scar. And so what you do is, it was like an L-shaped arm with a handle on it. You put it in there and you crank. And when the motor fired up, it would kick back.
Yeah.
And so if you were doing this and it kicked back, boom, right under the chin. And he said a lot of people had that same scar. That's right.
That's right.
Normally, I only see on the first Thursday of the month when we're at the San Diego Roadster Club meeting, right? Tell me about the San Diego Roadster Club. Yeah, give me like the short version. What does the Roadster Club do?
Well, it's a racers club.
Okay.
It was established in 1941.
1941.
Yeah.
World War I.
And
two.
And it had 7 members until after the war.
Okay.
And then it started building members, and we're mainly land speed racing club, where we participate at. Back in the day, we participated at Harper Dry Lake, at Muroc Dry Lake, El Mirage Dry Lake, and the Bonneville Salt Flats. Okay.
Now, we were talking about World War II.
Yeah.
And there's some significance to, there's only 7 members, but the membership grew after the war.
That's right.
How did these guys make cars after the war? My understanding is, after World War II started, they stopped commercial production for vehicles.
That's right.
And everything was war effort.
That's right.
So if a guy can't buy a brand new car to race, how do you make a race car?
All these guys were in the service, all of them.
Yeah.
And the 7 original members, they all joined the military.
Okay.
They're mechanics. So they became like aircraft mechanics or vehicle mechanics.
Right.
And when they got out, they had all that training and all the wherewithal to start building hot rods again.
Yeah. So my understanding is they started building all these initial land speed cars out of the belly tanks.
That's right.
Yeah. And land speed racing was just born, huh?
That's right.
All right. Well, okay. Now that's cool. And we've got a little bit of experience with land speed racing ourselves now. And for those of you who don't know, the Revo crew, we've now, with the last weekend with the Welshman's run, we got 4 world records under our belt.
Amen, brother.
Yeah. So my understanding is we're pretty fortunate to be out there for 3-4 years and have 3 or 4 records.
Yeah.
A lot of people go out there for their whole life and don't do that, right?
That's me.
Well,
That's
hey, you know what? Thanks for taking the time to show me this lovely vehicle. Hey, I got one more request.
Yes.
I want to take a ride.
Let's go.
Now, let's do it. All right. Hey, we'll see you guys next time on Gas and Go with Snow. All right. Oh, yeah. Cool.
Got to get my trophy.
Yeah,
that's what I came up for.